Now, from WYDC TV, this is Big Fox News at 10.
Good evening. Thanks for choosing Big Fox News. I'm Nick Smith. New York is one step closer to banning dog, cat, and rabbit sales in retail stores. It's a move that activists have been calling on for years. In tonight's top story, Matt Klein spoke with the local Humane Society and joins us from Corning with details.
Good evening, Nick. The measure made it through the state legislature's Agriculture Committee and will now be up for a full chamber vote. The Chemung County SPCA tells me this law would go a long way in ending puppy mills.
I think it's something that's long overdue.
After years of stalling, the New York Assembly is inching closer to banning retail sales of dogs, cats, and rabbits. Tom DeRoy of the Chemung County SPCA says the law would bring much-needed regulation to retail pet stores who get many of their animals through puppy mills.
And there's virtually no oversight at all. I mean, at the federal level, there's the Animal Welfare Act, but it's doesn't have a lot of teeth, and it's not really very well enforced.
The law would not impact professional or so-called hobby breeders who work directly with customers and tend to have good track records. DeRoy also says the law would emphasize saving rescue animals.
I mean, just some of the absolute best pets you can find come from shelters and rescues. So, I think this is going to help encourage people to view that as a viable option, even more so than they do now.
He says it's time to move forward to make the proposal into law for the health and safety of pets.
We have to remember that these are lives. These are not products. These are lives. And we need to view them as such.
The measure will now appear for full chamber approval. Matt Kleinden's Big Fox, WYDC in Corning.
The date is set for New York's full reopening. Mayor Bill de Blasio says the city will be fully open by July 1st. Restaurants, theaters, stores, offices, sporting venues. De Blasio says by July, they will all be open. He credits the vaccination rollout for declining hospitalization rates and is encouraging everyone who is eligible to get immunized. The date is set for New York's full reopening. Mayor Bill de Blasio says the city will be fully open by July 1st. Restaurants, theaters, stores, offices, sporting venues. De Blasio says by July, they will all be open. He credits the vaccination rollout for declining hospitalization rates and is encouraging everyone who is eligible to get immunized. Over the last 2 weeks, more than half of U.S. states have seen a decline in the number of new COVID-19 infections. And this comes as public health officials are taking new steps to fight against vaccine hesitancy. David Lee Miller has more.
There's still more work to do to beat this virus.
Last night, President Biden urged Americans to not let their guard down as the number of new COVID-19 infections declines. The CDC says the U.S. is averaging around 55,000 new cases per day, down nearly 25% from 2 weeks ago. In hard-hit New York City, a second wave of cases is finally slowing down. Today, Mayor Bill de Blasio announced plans to fully open the city on July 1st.
I think people are going to flock to New York City because they want to live again. And the data and the science are saying out loud, it's time to come back.
It's a different situation in the Pacific Northwest, where infections and hospitalizations are climbing in Oregon and Washington state.
Even with us working at the time of, at the speed of light, essentially, to get these vaccines out and the vaccines being very effective, it's still the case that not everybody's vaccinated yet.
Nearly half of American adults have received at least one dose of COVID-19 vaccine, and 30% have been fully vaccinated. But the average number of daily vaccinations has dropped below 3 million. Public health officials attribute the decline in part to ongoing vaccine hesitancy, and they're turning to pop-up clinics to help educate people.
We've heard from people that they just, it wasn't, I think, a top priority, and so they hadn't made an appointment to get out yet. So I think the ease and the access has really been beneficial.
President Biden has set July 4th as the date Americans can return to a more normal lifestyle. In New York, David Lee Miller, Fox News.
Starting today, military planes will be landing in India, loaded with supplies to help them fight a brutal surge of COVID-19. Already hundreds of thousands have died there, and hundreds of thousands more still keep getting sick day after day. Britt Conway has a look at what the U.S. is doing to help and why medical experts here at home say our safety depends on it.
India is facing one of the world's worst COVID-19 outbreaks. More than 200,000 people have died. crematoriums are running around the clock, and new infections continue to rise, continue to break records.
More than 350,000 people a day getting infected. They're seeing the hospital systems in many cities on the brink, unable to meet the full demands. They're running out of oxygen.
And medical experts in the U.S. say we need to step up.
We can't stop until COVID has been conquered all over the world.
Transmission anywhere in the world poses a risk to people everywhere in the world.
This week, the White House committed to sharing up to 60 million doses of the AstraZeneca vaccine, still not authorized in the U.S., with other countries. And Wednesday, news that the United States is delivering supplies worth more than $100 million to India, including refillable cylinders of oxygen, 1,700 oxygen concentrators to pull oxygen from the air, 15 million N95 masks, supplies to make 20 million doses of AstraZeneca vaccine, 1 million rapid diagnostic tests, and the first of 20,000 treatment courses of remdesivir. Planes packed with supplies will continue into next week.
Global pandemics require global cooperation.
I'm Britt Conway reporting.
An ambitious economic agenda took center stage at President Joe Biden's first address to a joint session of Congress. Now he's headed to key swing states to sell it, while making it clear he wants lawmakers to move it forward. Karen Caifa has the latest from D.C.
The morning after President Biden's speech, congressional leaders weighing in. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi expressing an eagerness to get her House Democrats moving on some of the things Biden outlined last night. But Senate Republican leader Mitch McConnell critical of the plans, calling them a lengthy liberal daydream and accusing Biden of more talk than action when it comes to bipartisan outreach.
The morning after President Joe Biden laid out an ambitious economic agenda and proposed tax increases on the wealthy to finance it, the White House wants Congress to get moving.
He thinks people making that amount of money can afford to pay a little bit more so that we can invest in the next generation, invest in child care and paid leave, things people need across the country.
Biden struck an optimistic tone about the nation's progress against the COVID-19 pandemic.
I can report to the nation, America is on the move again.
And is hoping momentum from his pandemic response in the first 100 days will boost action on other pressing issues, including gun reform, police reform, and immigration.
If you don't like my plan, let's at least pass what we all agree on.
But the heart of Biden's address was the economy, pitching Congress for nearly $4 trillion in spending targeting infrastructure, jobs, and a new proposal focused on families, education, and child care.
Public investment in infrastructure has literally transformed America.
In the Republican response, Senator Tim Scott of South Carolina casting those sweeping plans as a shift too far to the left.
Our best future will not come from Washington schemes or socialist dreams.
Biden following up his speech by kicking off a swing state sprint by top administration officials with a trip to Georgia.
And as Capitol Hill really digs into the discussions about making these plans into legislation, it may not only be Republicans who express some skepticism about the scope and the size, the price tag of these plans. Some moderate Democrats in the Senate, like Jeanne Shaheen of New Hampshire, Jon Tester of Montana, and also Joe Manchin of West Virginia, have expressed some concerns about the multi-trillion-dollar plans. In Washington, I'm Karen Caifa.
The U.S. military withdrawal from Afghanistan is now formally underway. U.S. aircraft have moved fewer than 100 troops and military equipment. Defense officials say contractors and government workers are also departing the country. The Pentagon has said it is concerned about attacks from the Taliban as personnel depart. It is sending 650 ground troops into Afghanistan as a covering force. The process is due to be completed by September 11th. 5 people are dead, including 2 deputies, after a standoff in Watauga County, North Carolina. The suspect was also killed, as well as the suspect's 2 parents. Investigators there are still attempting to piece together information about what led to the deadly standoff. The officers originally reporting to the scene for a welfare check, attempting to find someone who did not show up for work on Wednesday. Both deputies were shot when they entered the home. The FDA announcing today that it is taking steps to ban menthol-flavored cigarettes and all flavored cigars within the next year. The goal, of course, is to reduce disease and death from those products. Menthol is the last flavor currently allowed in cigarettes. The CDC says more than a third of all the cigarettes sold in the U.S. in 2018 or menthol flavored. Studies have shown that menthol flavoring can help entice people, especially young people, to become regular smokers. There are a couple of encouraging readings on the economy. New claims for unemployment benefits declined by 13,000 last week to 553,000, a sign of continued improvement in the job market. And the economy continued to rebound in the start of the year. The gross domestic product rose 6.4% in the first quarter. Economists have been predicting a rebound in the labor market this spring and predicted an improvement in the GDP with more Americans vaccinated and more restrictions lifted. Consumer spending jumped more than 10% earlier this year, helped by stimulus payments to Americans in January and March. Still ahead tonight, some teachers in a Michigan school district staying home to protest new COVID-19 policies.
They need to listen. They need to listen to the teachers and the concerns being brought to them.
Hear reaction from parents and district leaders as they try to navigate in-person learning without teachers in the classroom.
Here's your local stock market update from Big Fox. Now, your Twin Tiers forecast from Big Fox.
Tonight's Big Fox forecast is brought to you by William Mattar. Good evening, everyone. I'm meteorologist Kim Walker with your weather update. A big difference in our temperatures today. A 21-degree drop in Elmira, 19 degrees cooler in Corning, 24 in Bath, and also in Watkins Glen. And so yesterday we enjoyed temperatures that were in the 80s. Today, only in the 50s. This comes as a low pressure system is now moving through the region. By tomorrow, it will be just south of Maine, and it is going to continue to move away from our area, but we're going to be located on the western side of the system, or on the back side of this low pressure system, and the flow around it will bring north winds, and so that's going to result in cooler conditions for your Friday and Saturday. In addition to that, moisture will wrap around this low pressure system and move right over our area, and so we do have more rain on the way. So here is a look at what you can expect as we head into your Friday. Strong, gusty, cold winds, and wind gusts could be up to about 50 miles per hour in some locations. So you definitely want to secure your stuff outside if you don't want it to blow around, because it's going to be really gusty as we head into the afternoon on Friday on the backside of this low pressure system. Temperature wise, we are expecting readings mainly in the 50s from 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock, and then in the afternoon those temperatures will drop down into the 40s. 44 degrees by 6 o'clock with mostly cloudy conditions. It will be windy, and we are expecting a few spotty showers. By Saturday, most of that rain will be clearing out, but then another round of rain will be coming in late Saturday into Sunday. So it looks like it's going to be a pretty active weekend. Your future radar is showing more showers for tonight. We've already picked up about half an inch to over an inch in some locations, and we're going to pick up more in the next few hours, but the rain will start to taper off by Friday in the morning. But notice that the blue that's showing up by 2 o'clock in the afternoon. As those temperatures drop close to freezing, there could be some snow mixing in the afternoon into the evening hours, and it looks like there could be a few snow showers, or at least what this model is indicating for Friday night into early Saturday. That will start to move away, and then we have another round of rain on Saturday coming in at around 4 o'clock in the afternoon and lasting through the evening hours, and so there will be a few showers coming in not only for Saturday night but also on Sunday morning. So more rain to be had in the next few days. Tonight we are expecting cloudy conditions with a few showers. Lows will be in the low 40s, 50s tomorrow, but it looks like it will be warmer in the morning than in the afternoon. Your 7-day forecast calls for a little bit warmer conditions and drier conditions by Saturday.
As top U.S. health officials push more Americans to get vaccinated, a new study shows that the Pfizer and Moderna COVID-19 vaccines are highly effective when it comes to protecting older adults and could lead to reductions in post-COVID conditions and deaths. Mandy Gaither has more in today's Health Minute.
As more Americans get protected from COVID-19, a new CDC study shows the Pfizer and Moderna vaccines reduce risk of hospitalization by 94% among fully vaccinated adults 65 and older, and could result in fewer post-COVID conditions and death.
We're seeing people in the elderly group, the number of hospitalizations and deaths going way down. It's all as a result of vaccination.
Dr. Anthony Fauci says there's still a considerable amount of infection in the U.S., but COVID-19 case rates are falling, and officials hope more incentives for the fully vaccinated will entice more Americans to get their vaccines.
If we go down much, much more, which I believe we will as we get more people vaccinated, then sooner rather than later, you're going to see more liberalization of the guidelines.
The U.S. is still hitting the hesitancy wall for COVID-19 vaccines, and right now, all 3 vaccines used in the U.S. have emergency use authorization from the FDA. Fauci hopes there will be full approval soon.
I hope they do it quickly because, as you say, people, when they hear it's still emergency use, they still have a little concern about how far you can go with it.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
As students showed up for school in a Detroit suburb on Wednesday, many of the teachers did not. More than 100 Grosse Pointe Public School educators stayed home to protest the district's new COVID-19 policies. Simon Shaquette has the reaction from parents and district leaders.
I'm frustrated, but I can see both sides.
Concerned that we're going to lose our teachers, that this is kind of a taste of what's to come if things don't change.
We've learned many students were taken into the auditorium today at Grosse Pointe North High School to sit at distanced tables after teachers failed to show up in the classroom. It comes after some notified the school they would not be coming to work today.
I believe that they are mad that it went from 6 feet to 3 feet. Each teacher has said, see syllabus of what we're going to do for the rest of the week. So clearly they're not planning on coming back. It's just so sad. I'm sad.
This also follows a heated Grosse Pointe Board of Education meeting and a resignation of Sean McCarroll, a well-known teacher and lacrosse coach who was critical of the board's rules.
They need to listen. They need to listen to the teachers and the concerns being brought to them.
McCarroll said eased restrictions are compromising safety, although they do follow federal guidelines in many ways. A new resolution passed reduces the quarantine period for anyone testing positive from 14 down to 10 days and reduces minimal distancing from 6 to 3 feet for in-person education.
We are covering for 116 teachers today, and we believe this is a one-day event. We're going to get through it today, and it's going to be okay. We got to go back and figure out what we need to do to make it better.
In a statement to students and parents, the district superintendent expressing his disappointment with teachers who stayed home today, but praising those who did come to work and helped to navigate the day. But the head of the teachers union is telling us,
at our Monday meeting, what we asked for was to return to hybrid for 2 weeks. But you know, this was not a union activity. This was something that we, as I think professionals, at times might need.
The same app you can use to send money is now offering access to crypto. Venmo is offering users the opportunity to buy Bitcoin and other lesser-known digital coins. But what are they, and what are experts saying about it? Mandy Gaither has more.
Crypto in the palm of your hand. Venmo users can now buy, hold, and sell digital currency on the app. That includes Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, Ethereum, and Litecoin. More proof that cryptocurrencies are going mainstream.
For money to be money, enough people must have it and widely use it. Merchants must be willing to accept it, and society has to deem that it has value, and it will continue to have value.
Venmo says its more than 70 million users can now buy crypto for as little as $1. The popular payment app says more than 30% of Venmo customers have already started buying cryptocurrency or equities. Some financial experts insist Bitcoin, Ethereum, and other digital coins have the potential to revolutionize the world of finance. Although we're not there yet, this latest move shows businesses are beginning to accept this form of currency more widely.
In Europe, they made up money. It was called the euro, and now we take it as is today.
Venmo now joining the growing list of companies accepting crypto. Tesla started accepting Bitcoin payments for its cars and now holds some of the digital currency on its balance sheet.
So when Tesla said, we're now going to accept Bitcoin for a Tesla payment, that validated that the Bitcoin has value.
MasterCard and Visa are trying to streamline crypto payments on their networks. For today's Consumer Watch, I'm Mandy Gaither.
So, you like the cherry red paint job on your new car, do you? Well, your wallet might beg to differ as far as the future resale value goes. According to a new analysis, your car's color can have a significant effect on depreciation. Researchers found that gold was the worst out of 13 different colors in terms of its effect on a car's resale value. The least depreciating color was yellow, with just a 20.4% 3-year depreciation. Amazon announced it will raise wages for more than 500,000 workers. It will raise hourly pay between 50 cents and $3 for a total investment of more than $1 billion. The company is currently working to hire tens of thousands of positions. Amazon said in light of that effort, it decided to move up its annual fall pay preview for those teams. It plans to roll out the pay increases in mid-May. Many senior communities are vaccinated and allowing visitors again, and that's allowed performers to bring live music to an appreciative audience. And as Nathan Vickers reports, that's exactly the case in one senior living community in Kansas.
When Stan Stooky's fingers find their rhythm, the feet in the crowd tend to find theirs too.
That's what music is all about, isn't it?
They're familiar tunes, music through the decades, for an audience who's lived through a few.
He plays such a variety of music. I think everybody finds something that they enjoy.
You really feel good, you feel peaceful.
Before the pandemic, Stooky used to play here at the Cedar Lake Senior Living Community every week. This is his first concert in more than a year.
Him coming back into the building reestablishes a norm that they were so used to for so long.
Boys just wanted to come back and play for them. They've been so nice to me.
He's missed playing. Mary and Lloyd Brown have missed waltzing.
I think what everyone should have in a marriage is something that you can do together. Dancing makes us very happy.
I don't know that I ever do the same step twice. I don't think I could really dance with anybody else because she's just able to follow whatever stupid thing I do.
I make him look good.
Yes.
Sometimes Carl Cruz takes the stage for a duet. He's been playing the violin since he was 7.
When you get up in your 80s and 90s, it's nice to have something like that something you enjoy.
Everyone is welcome to share the stage.
I always want to see an audience react to it, and so I missed getting that feedback.
A year without music, without waltzes, is coming to an end. The entertainment Stooky has brought back is care for the soul.
Music is all about leaving the people a little bit feeling better than they were when you first started playing.
We want to leave you with a smile tonight. A Long Island train conductor was honored for his honesty. Last week, Jonathan Yellowday found a bag on a train heading from Penn Station to Port Washington. Get this, 3 dozen engagement rings were inside. The jewelry was worth around $107,000. But Yellowday didn't take the bling and run. He returned them to the Manhattan jeweler who had accidentally left the case behind during his commute home.
It almost didn't seem real. I was like, this can't be what I think it is. And then sure enough, I was like, oh, wow, it really is. Oh boy, I gotta get this back to the police ASAP.
Thanks so much for joining us. Have a good night, and we hope to see you back here tomorrow.